Welcome to our podcast. Excuse me, Karen, where every week we try to blow your minds with the audacity of this bitch.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have a shout out this week to my friend Ashley that we spoke about the last episode. She messaged me and I have officially been invited to the wedding.
Hey.
I got the day off. I already requested it. It's been approved. So I'm getting paid to be there. So I'm just saying.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So I'm getting paid to go to a wedding.
Even better.
She's about to be lit, bro. Can't wait. So excited. Already planned my outfit.
I'm going with.
You are not.
I know.
I'm like, you don't know these people?
I know.
Sorry, love you.
Okay, let me do.
But it's time for the bitching corner.
Bitching corner. What do you have to bitch about?
What do you have to bitch about?
So I've been having so many problems with my mom lately, and I just want to bitch about why moms are so rude and bitchy.
Moms, why are you the way you are?
Literally. All I do is help you guys out, moms. And then you just yell at me and be rude and hurt my feelings, and it's not fucking cool.
I feel that.
So I'm bitching about moms this week. What are you bitching about?
Mine is very, very dumb.
Okay.
But why? I don't know if anybody else with an iPhone has this problem, but when did it start sending us like news notifications? Like I keep getting notifications from TMZ and I'm like, why?
I do not get those.
I get them. I don't know how.
Maybe you
Like,
have to go to your notification settings or something.
bro, I tried. I shut everything off. I hate the little red flags. I hate notifications. It keeps sending them. I'm like, it's like, cool. Josh Duggar's been arrested because he likes looking at kitty porn because he's fucking gross. Like, cool. Bernie Madoff this. I don't care.
At
I
all.
don't care. Like, they want to fuck up their lives because they're dumb as fuck. Fuck up your lives. Okay? I don't give a fuck. Just, why are you sending me a notification for it? There's another sick person in this fucking world.
They want you to be informed, okay, Lacie?
Then I'll look it up.
Facts.
So yeah. It's such a dumb fucking thing to bitch about, but I looked at my notifications like 10 minutes ago and just from today, like news article wise, I had 27.
Or Google it. Maybe you can Google how to turn it off.
I don't know. But like they're sending me notifications from like Food Network and I'm like, bitch, I know I'm fat, but like why am I getting these? Like, this is the best apple pie. Here's the recipe.
That sounds so annoying.
It fucking is. I don't know how to fix it.
Google is our best friend, you know?
Listen, I know.
Or YouTube. But what is your tale for us?
Ooh, my tale this week is it is Grandpa Chad. So, and it's just I can't.
You can't.
So here's the tale about the one time an old man came in like up to my 22-year-old self and was asking me about lubes.
Why? I vaguely remember this.
I don't know. I posted about it on Facebook maybe when it happened because I cried. Okay? I cried. So I am 20, I said 22, but it wasn't 22. I think it was like 24 or 25. And I was working in the pharmacy. I had been on the floor by myself for a fucking week.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you get your cart and you go in the back and you get all your stuff and you're like, okay, this is what has to be stocked today. And I take it out to the floor and I'm just like, I had to do, what was this aisle? The aisle with like the Band-Aids, and the other side of the aisle had pads.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you go down more and it's like the vagina wash.
Yeah.
And then it's like the condoms and personal lubes, and they had like the little massagers and stuff. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Do the Band-Aids and stuff because they were on top. And then I do the pads and like I work my way down. And I had people coming and asking like, where's this? Where's that? I always had people asking me where stuff is. It's no problem. I love helping people. So I would walk them to the area, show them our different like selections. Like, do you want SpongeBob? We got Ninja Turtle. Like moms coming in to get pads for their daughters for the first time. I'm like, these are some good ones. Like, I don't fucking know. Just like we have a whole wall of pads, bro.
Right.
So I just like show everyone everything they want. I had this older gentleman, like so old, his like back was hunched
Aww.
and he had a walker.
Okay.
And at this time, I had to fix all the pregnancy tests on the bottom shelf because let's put pregnancy tests on the bottom shelves for like possible pregnant people, like have to bend over and pick this shit up. All the condoms at the top. Whatever.
Total sense.
Yeah. So I'm like fixing the pregnancy test because somebody went through and like stole a whole bunch. So I had to go through and like pull those boxes and like restock all the other ones.
Mm.
And this guy comes up to my car and he goes, "Can you help me?" I stand my fat ass up because I was on my knees and I'm not about to talk to somebody while I'm down on my knees. So I get up and I'm like, sure. How can I help you? Like, what are you looking for? And he's like, "Oh, I'm just looking for the vitamins." And I was like, "Oh, they're over in the front. Do you want me to take you to them?" And he goes, "No, I got it." And I was like, "Okay." He takes 2 steps away and I'm already like on my way back down on my knees so I can fix this fucking shelf.
Mm.
And he goes, "So, what kind of lubes do you like?"
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I don't think that's appropriate conversation.
Right.
Um, he's like, "Well, I just want to know what the youngins are working with these days." And
Ooh.
I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like,
Any will do.
yeah." I'm like, it depends on like what you're looking for. And he's like, "Well, okay." Takes like 2 more steps away and then comes back. And at this point, I'm all the way, like, I'm back on the ground. He goes, "You look good down there."
Oh no.
Bro, when I tell you, I was like, "Excuse me?" He was like, "I'm just joking."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
sure.
"Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well, you have a good day." And I go back to what I'm doing. And he goes, "Do you use one of these things?" And then throws like one of those finger massagers at me. And
No.
I'm like, "No, no,
Mm.
I don't." He goes, "You got a man?" And I'm just like, ugh. Like, I'm so like, ugh. And I'm
Did he
like,
look rich though?
no, he did not look rich. Do you know where I live? Like, okay, never
Yeah, I
mind. There's
know.
some rich people by
I was
me.
just about to say there are some rich people.
No, no. If
So
he was that rich, he would not be out going doing his own grocery shopping because, like,
maybe he likes it because he's old.
maybe he should have kept his ass at home because he was old.
Fair.
So I was like, no, like, what? Like, I'm, I, I'm good. Like, I'm done. Thank you. Have a nice day. And he's like, "Do you see your man after work?" And I was like, "I go and see my mother after work. I, I live with my mom.
Right.
Is she as good looking as you?" And I'm just like, bro. I just like, I was like, okay, well, I like, what do you say? Like, I have like
I don't know.
fucking, I'm trying to like picture how I could, he kind of looked like the grandpa from Hey Arnold, but like older
Aww.
and with a walker, like super fucking old.
And
And I'm
like it's hard to like dismiss or like be rude to old people, you know what I mean? So I
yeah,
always just I don't so I get it, but it sucks.
yeah. So I'm just like trying to end this conversation like, please go
ASAP.
on about your life. Yeah. So I like get up and I like grab my cart and I was like, okay, sir, you have a nice day. Like, thanks for coming to our store. And like, I start walking away and he's like trying to like walk after me, but he's like super slow because he has a walker.
Yes.
So I just like book it 2 aisles over,
Mm-hmm.
swing a right, and then like go around. And like as I'm going around, I see him coming through from the one aisle, and I'm like, shit. And he like spotted me going back.
Mm-hmm.
So I like ran to the pharmacy desk and I was like, bro, this old guy's asking me this shit. I'm gonna go hide in the back for a little bit. I was like, I'm taking my break. They're like, okay. I come back from my break and they're like, that guy just came up here and complained about you. And I'm like, for fucking what? And they're like, well, he said that you didn't help him and blah blah, and you were
What?
so rude. And I'm like, no, dude, I told you exactly like what happened. They're like, well, okay, we'll start from the beginning. And I was like, I'm fixing the pregnancy test, and then he's asking me what kind of lube I use and what kind of lube I use with my man, and then asks if I use the personal massager and like all this shit. And they're like, what? Why would he ask those things? I was like, I don't know, because he's a pervy old fucking man.
Right.
And they're like, oh, he wouldn't ask that. And I was like, are you
Bruh.
fucking kidding? Do you think I sat here and made this shit up?
Right.
I was like, I just went in the back and cried because like like felt disgusted.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh no, he wouldn't do that. Well, sure as shit, he came back the next week and tried to do it the same, or tried to do the same thing to me in
Wow.
front of the floor manager.
Good.
And then, like, when I went and told them that I was taking my break and that he was back and blah, 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 they didn't believe me. The floor manager comes up and she's like, no, bro, like, this dude really said this to her. Like, I witnessed the whole fucking thing. And this lady did not like me. To this day,
Mm.
she does not like me, and I fucking love it. Um, but I was like, yeah, like this is happening. And they're like, no, I that's like the end of the story because he like never came back. I think he died, if I'm being
Well,
completely honest.
well,
Um,
rip, but you
he was
sucked.
old as fuck.
Yeah.
Um, but I did, because on his little walker thing, he had a little cart. The time that the floor manager heard it, I ended up throwing some lube in his cart, and I think he bought it.
Aw, good for him.
So, because I was like, fuck this, and I just like threw the lube, I tossed the lube in there.
He was hoping you would say yes.
Um, Motherfucker done lost his mind.
Hmm. That
But
sucks though.
I know, like like I have this thing where like I love old people. They're so adorable, super gross, but they
Yeah,
have like the best stories.
they do.
But fuck the creeps, like the old like, hey baby, like they creep me the fuck out. Like
Yeah.
they still think they got game. It's like, bro,
Like, unless you're a billionaire, don't fucking try and spaghetti at me.
yeah, like your balls are touching your knees, homie. Like,
Literally.
yeah, like don't come at me. Ugh. So that is my Chad tale
It was a good one.
about a about an old man who tried to hit on me and got salty when I said no.
So my tale for this week isn't super long or anything either. It's about this one time when I worked at this like mom and pop restaurant in like a richer area by
I did
me.
not know that you worked at a mom and pop shop.
It was very short lived. Very short lived.
Is the story why?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, it was like it was like 4 years ago or something. My cousin had a wedding, and I was working at this mom and pop restaurant, and so I put the wedding shower like date in, and like it got approved and everything. Let me backtrack a little bit, I guess. So the like stepdaughter and the dad like ran the entire restaurant, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
the stepdaughter was like the biggest fucking cunt ever. And the dad was like low key a cunt. You know what I mean? Like he would be nice to like your face, but then go in the kitchen and just like talk shit about you, you know?
Yeah.
So whatever, the dates for the shower and the wedding like got approved and everything. And then they were like, okay, well this day we're having a mandatory meeting with all the servers and cooks, blah blah blah. There was only like 7 of us, or I think it was like 5 actually. And so that day happened to fall on the day of my cousin's wedding shower. So I brought it up to the manager, the stepdaughter. She was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like, it's okay. Like, we'll just call you the next day, or like your next shift. We'll just um fill you in on what happened, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, bet, thanks. And so then I come back in the next day after the shower. They're all looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. And I clocked in and everything. And I start like getting, like setting stuff up, like opening.
Mm-hmm.
And they all like start whispering, like they're like, and I'm like, okay. And then I go and I'm like, am I not supposed to work today or something? So I go, because they had the schedule like on a piece of paper, like on the wall, literally. So I went and looked at the schedule, and mine like name was erased, like all the days I was supposed to work were erased and everything. So I went up to the stepdaughter manager, whoever the fuck, and I was like, hey, not to be a bitch or anything, but like, why is my name erased and why am I not working here anymore? And was nobody gonna call me and tell me that I didn't have to fucking come in today? And she goes, talk to my dad. You didn't show up for the meeting, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, you approved my day off. Like, you specifically, like, approved the day off.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, I don't like being talked to like this, so you can go take this up with my dad and clock out. I was like, oh no, I'm staying clocked in until this is figured out. And so I was like, and you can go get your dad out of it. He literally had like the smallest office. It literally was like a storage closet that he just put a desk in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you can go get your dad and tell him to come clock me out himself and explain what the fuck is going on. And so she like huffed and puffed, and she's like one of those like prissy white girls, and she
Mm.
walks like into the kitchen and is like, Lauren's here, and everyone's like, what? Why is Lauren here? Like they literally legitimately fired me without telling me.
How?
So I
Okay.
don't, and like literally like I don't know how, because it was approved by like both the dad and the bitch stepdaughter. But so he comes over to like the server area,
Mm-hmm.
alley, whatever you want to call it, and he's like, yeah, hey, what are you doing here? And I was like, were you not gonna tell me that I was fired, or like what's up, dude? And he's like, well, you didn't show up for the mandatory meeting. And I was like, you approved my day off, and so did your bitch daughter. And he was like, well, I don't understand why you're here. And I'm like, because I have a full screenshot of a schedule that I'm supposed to be working every day this fucking week, open to close. And I was like, you guys weren't going to call me, nothing, tell me not to drive 25 minutes to a half hour to come into fucking work. Like, and he was like, well, we just assumed because you didn't fucking show up for the mandatory meeting. So we just figured you were a no call, no show. And I'm like, I have a screenshot of the approved days off for me. Like, you approved one and your dumbass daughter approved the next one. Like, I don't know what is not being comprehended or like not understood right now. And he was like, well, I don't appreciate you talking to me like this. And I was like, well, I don't appreciate you firing me without telling me, or even like a phone call.
Yeah.
Or like a text, you know, like if I was a business owner and one of my people didn't show up, like I'd be a little concerned. I'd be like, hey, are you all right? Or I would try and call them.
Right.
Not just like erase their whole fucking, like delete their whole fucking schedule. And so like he gets like really pissed off and he literally walks in the kitchen and just starts throwing pots and pans everywhere, saying, fuck Lauren, you're a dumb bitch and all this stuff. And the daughter is just like laughing. And I was like, so I literally just stood there. I was like, all right, well, I'm still clocked in, so I'm gonna stay here. And I'm just going to stay clocked in until they tell me to leave. And I'm not going to do a fucking thing. And so I racked up like $20, whatever. Because it was funny. And just like, he literally started freaking out because he was like, I'm not going to be disrespected like that in my own fucking restaurant. But I was like, well, don't you think it's disrespectful to fire somebody without telling them? And then he was like to his stepdaughter, whatever. He's like, you approved her day off, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't remember. And he's like, well, fuck you too. Fuck all you bitches. Like, he went hard. Like, and I was just like, I'm just like giggling at this point. Like, I'm like, all right. So then like when he slammed the door, like the office door, and like locked himself in there. And I was just like, all right, well, I'll clock out now. And then so like I'm walking out and his office door is like right at the back door where we had to leave. So I knocked on the door and I was like, hey, it's Lauren. Just wanted to say bye. Like, it's been a real great 3 months working for you. And let me know when I can come pick up my last 2 fucking checks, you piece of shit. And you just hear him, like, he just starts like kicking the fucking door, like punching the door. And I was like, bye, love ya, have a good day. and like the bartender who like hired me, she was like super nice. She like came running out after me and she's like, why did you do that? And I was like, fuck you too, bitch. Like, you didn't call me either or even text me. Like, fuck you. And she's like, you just pissed everyone off. I was like, good, have a good shift, bitch, bye.
Are they still in business?
I don't know. I honestly have not driven that far out in a minute, so probably not. Like, their food, they had really good soups, but their food sucked.
Were they my people?
No, they were not. They were full white, full American.
Oh, they were white people. White people.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna make a comment about white people. Sorry, white people.
Okay, but they don't know how to run restaurants properly. You have to be foreign or something. I'll say it.
Yeah.
You can't be white.
My parents, like, whenever somebody doesn't show up to work, like, my mom will call them, like one of the other waitresses will call them, and then my brother will call them. Yeah. And then, like, if they don't answer, they'll call someone. And then if they call back, like, maybe they're like, who ended up being in the hospital and they didn't call us back immediately. Whatever, they called us back. They're like, hey, sorry, I'm in the hospital. Like, one of the girls had to take her daughter to the hospital, and they're like, oh, okay, no big deal. It was like an emergency situation. But like, if you call them like, hey, I'm not coming and shit like that, yeah, they're fine. You'll still have your shit. But like, but if you don't show up and you don't end up calling them back after the multiple calls, yeah, like, you, next time you come in, or like my mom will text them and be like, hey, like, sorry, blah blah blah. Like, next time you come in, just come in and get your check.
Mm-hmm.
And they're they will fire you after like not showing up without like if you're not answering their calls or whatever.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, those people didn't even call you and they approved your day off.
I
That's
know.
so
And like, it's funny because the schedule and the like approved days off for people are right next to each other. So it's like I literally pointed to the approved day off like sheet, and they were just like looking at each other like they were fucking dumb or something. Or like
that's
I was
because
dumb, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like they're right next to fucking each other.
yeah, no, it's because they probably made a big fucking deal about you not showing up.
Mm,
So they're like in front of everybody, like, oh, this bitch is fired. This bitch is fired because they forgot that you were off that day.
yeah, but they suck.
And yeah, and they had to like stand by it because they just did all this shit. So
They're just
that's
pieces
what
of
I'm
shit.
assuming. Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah,
dumb. I, I want to know what restaurant this is so I can look it up.
I'll
We
I'll tell you off.
after.
Yeah,
Oh, well, at least you don't have to deal with that job anymore. So
blessed.
hashtag.
Right.
And yeah, no, that's so fucking dumb.
It's just so rude.
You have to let your employee know that you fired them. Don't
Right.
make them look like and just show up.
And it's like y'all literally approved the day off.
Yeah.
So that's the end of my tale for this week.
Mm.
So who's your ball and Betty?
It's probably going to have to be that manager, the floor manager that does not like me and I don't like her. Because she told them in the pharmacy, yeah, this old ass dude with his saggy balls are asking her about all this shit. Like, what kind of lube do you like? Yeah, because they didn't fucking believe me. Like, I'm sitting here being harassed and I'm telling them I'm being harassed and they don't believe me. Welcome to fucking America.
Right. Literally.
So she stood up for me and told them that, yes, I was being harassed. So I appreciated it, even though I don't fucking like her.
Well, blessed, because she did stick up for you,
Mhm.
but fuck her.
Who's, I don't even know. I don't think you're
I
going to
know.
have a ball and
Honestly,
Betty.
like, my ball and Betty is me because fuck these people. And I mean, like, I still showed up for my shift, but they just fucking erased it. So, I mean, I was still responsible, but then I was a bitch. But so my ball and Betty is me for sticking up for my fucking self to these dumbass people.
I feel like you're your ball and Betty all the time.
Because I'm a ball and Betty.
There you go.
Yeah. So remember, guys, in a world full of Karens, just be a fucking Betty.
Hey.
Hey.
And let your
All right.
waitresses know when you fire them. Fuck.
Literally, please. So we don't drive fucking 30 minutes and clock in.
Amen. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and review on iTunes or Apple.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, Apple's the only one you can review on. So leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing, what we can do better, how much you love us. We would really appreciate it. If you want us to read your story, email us. The link is in our bio or DM us on Instagram. Lauren, drop those links.
All right, guys. Our Instagram is at excuse me Karen podcast, and our TikTok is the same. So follow us, DM us your story. We'd love to read them on here, and we would just love to read them in general.
Yes, please send those stories. We have a few, but we're waiting for more before we roll them all out.
Yes. All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.